Wait. Wait. Wait, 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 wait. Oh. If the hounds and the ravens, I don't see them necessarily align in here with whatever this will be. Which currently is a big mystery. The actual, like, you know, the actual revenge. Because this is going to be slow. Painful. And calculated. And it's already been a week, and we have yet to see it. And we know as much because of what we've been told from the guild. They want me to stay the fuck away from it. They said go off duty. They know too. They know something's coming. But this is not aligned. There is a agenda here that is different than this. But there may be some attempt to draw parallels. With these folks, Knight, I'll tell you what Knight's thinking. Knight's thinking that this and the revenge that will come from it will be slow, painful, calculated, as it's already a week has gone by and is yet to come. And that should be considered scarier than the fact that there was not a immediate reaction. Now, fire starters have their own agenda, right? Which is currently a mystery. We know the ravens have been tied to it. The hounds have been tied to it. And the besties. However, this is two demonstratively different things, but that doesn't mean that this is not going to feed into this. Right? This, like, for all we know, there could be fire starters coming in and saying, by the hounds. It's two very, it's a different thing altogether, but it doesn't mean that this situation won't feed into their propaganda, right? What in the Charlie Day? I love this kind of stuff. I love this kind of stuff. None of this is Brian looking at everything in the last like 2 weeks. Yeah, the goal of this is more Brian taking a step back, because imagine if you were to look at like a world conflict map and as a political analyst sort of assess like like, you know, if you were to do a World War III analysis IRL and we're like doing an alignment sheet and a situational sheet, that is effectively what Knight is doing right now, right? That is probably what this is. It's most closest to. Not how does World War III start? You could say you could get that out of here, but there's also like taking a step back and being like, what has been going on? Because by knowing what the landscape is and the circumstances, when things begin to happen, it doesn't need to conform to the sheet, but at least you can assess the situation a bit more soberly. It was a lot of fun. I don't know why I'm enjoying this. I really am. Happy Sunday. Connecting all the things in your brain is just satisfying. It is. It really is. It's a nice little reference sheet too. Like, I think it's a nice little reference sheet because, you know, if you sort of think about from a perspective, right, of like, Brian, why do you think of this? Right? Why are you leaning in this direction? Unfortunately, connections and relationships and why is this person here and not this person? Why this group and not this group? Those things are sometimes hard to explain when, like, this kind of stuff is in my brain actively, right? And by laying it out here as well, when needing to discuss matters at a grander bit, Brian can also then utilize this to sort of explain things that to those that can only think, you know, one ping at a time, right? Or one incident at a time as well. Um, I'm going to let you think about what these things mean and why I'm drawing this very different. Now, I want you to also keep in mind, this is Brian doing it. Are you deaf? Oh, you're good. Painting with dasMEHDI. Guys, this is what GTA roleplay has turned into. Oh, dude, we're 100% going to do that. I don't want to draw these lines in, actually. Wait, there's a Starship launch tonight, actually? Oh, weather's only 40%. All right. What else is in Blaine County? Oh, it's Flight 10 already? The hidden. I'm really glad I made this because I'm going to expand this over time. This is actually really cool. And, it's helped me figure out what I'm going to do with this character. And I'm going to describe it. Night, for some reason, and I'll tell you, the reason why I wrote this sort of sketched is a lot of what Brian's trauma is psychological, right? But it sort of has like chipped something in his mind to, get blainerized now. Now, call that whatever condition you want, right? But it's very specifically honed in on the perception that, his family is from Polito, blah, 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 right? There is no answer to the why. It's mere coincidence, happenstance, etc. That from the moment he arrived at the lighthouse, and the many days that followed, which obviously OOC has been complete coincidence, right? But we're running with what happens in front of us, is the warrants, is the TJ Walker thing, is the this and that, and whatever. And what was the blood, right? It could be placebo. It could be something more. It could be whatever. But at its foundation and at its core, Knight in this state, and as has been rebuffed, wants to protect Blaine County from outside forces. And some of those outside forces can be the faceless, can be the culmination of some of the revenge that may come from the death of TJ Walker. I think Knight is going to believe that TJ Walker and Sam Bass showing up at the lighthouse after all of him thinking about quitting and this and that is not mere coincidence. Maybe it's the lighthouse telling him things. Maybe it's a hallucination. But Knight is going to take that as some form of a sign. The fire starters can be a force. And some of this is San Andreas, right? But most of it is from Los Santos. So these outside forces, right? Potentially bringing harm to what is an otherwise pretty safe area to be in, and a growing area, right? So this is going to be growth. Because when you sort of like think about it, most of what's happening up here is more of, from Knight's perspective, is these are outside dangers, outside forces. So how do you protect against it? The fire starters, the faceless, some of these things we're capable of saving the citizen, protecting the citizenry with. Smileys have no location that we're aware of. Some of it, not everything is mind mapped out. Don't get too critical, right, about specifics. This isn't an equation, right? This is what actively has bubbled up to the top of, like, Smileys is like, it's not even on Brian's mind, really. It may eventually. Like, in other words, this is not an attempt to solve any equation. These are events and impacts and, in some cases, evidence, right? So, like, but I'll answer that. Like, Smileys are over here because we don't know where they fit. And by we, I mean dasMEHDI. By we, I mean Brian Knight. By we mean watching Brian's story unfold. So things like the Manor or Chaos Legion, Smiley's, Raiders, like there hasn't been enough impact. There hasn't been enough circumstances. There's not enough information to really conclude anything about them, because things here are not haphazardly written down in any sort of form where they must exist in some place on this. So to put the hidden here would make no sense either, because the hidden are from the south, but now they're in the north, and like, do we really know what they are, who they are, what they're... No. There's not enough to know where they fit in all this. In fact, they got to be put here. But I wouldn't overthink this diagram. This is through the lens of Brian, right? And what he could rightfully put down here. Not everything needs to be solved. Yeah, that's right, Miss Desiree. Yeah, this isn't going to court. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. So anyways, yeah, right. And certain entities just simply have not had enough impact either on Blaine County or at a larger level in Los Santos County